We thought we'll put it in public square. Diwali Trafalgar Square was born in 2001. And from there we said, look, this needs to be bigger, better, and it kicked off with Royal Albert Hall.
I think you're definitely trendsetters because you did it last year and you did it on a huge scale.
And this guy has got some genius capacity to put things on the screen, making the whole place come alive.
It's a story that means something to me. The story of Ramayana essentially is about someone being in exile, and he lived out of his home for 14 years and kept his values. Now that's something I saw in my grandparents. I saw that in my parents. I feel that there is a slight alienation between today's generation when it comes to faith, when it comes to culture. Last Diwali, my 13-year-old nephew said, why do we celebrate Diwali? South Asian artists, we're ambitious and we're here to make our mark and celebrate our culture with everyone. That's why I agreed to be part of it.
That connection and the emotion is very, very important.
Right.
How do you get that?
We start off with relatability, then it moves on to the emotion, then it moves on to the movement, then it moves on to the other aspects. Whenever we've seen our work, it's always been, we could have done this better.
For me, the key thing I wanted to do is, do they have the right voice texture? Because obviously when you hear like Shree Ram's voice or you hear Sita's voice, you've got to feel something. When I rewrote the script, I wanted to dramatize it. I actually wanted to see the bigger fight sequences, the bigger movement pieces. How do you bring that nuance, that texture, that feeling of I'm about to do something which I know is the right thing to do because this is the way things have to roll, but it feels wrong to me inherently because of how I'm going to do it.
This is Leica Extra, the sound for the British Asian generation, a part of the Leica Radio Network.
Welcome to another episode of Leica Extra, part of the Leica Radio Network. And today joining us is the core team of the Diwali Story.
And we have got some very special guests here. And let me introduce you to Sâmir Bhamra, the writer and director, Acts 1 and 2 of Diwali Story. We've also got Shruti Shah, the co-choreographer of the show and the creative director and costume designer. And also Nishit Kotak as well, the show's creative technology and marketing director. And we've also got the legend himself, Nitin Palan MBE, the producer of Sanatan events, and of course the show lead as well. So Nitin, I'm going to come to you first. Tell us a little about the Diwali Story. When I come on the 27th of September, what can I expect?
How long do I have?
All the time in the world.
Well, I can only give you snippets of it because the real surprise has to be on the day. I think learning the essence of the Diwali Story is probably more important.
Yeah.
It's meant for the community. So we kick off with a 45 minutes of curtain raiser where young children are going to come along and perform a small Diwali dance. Yeah. They're all from different schools in the area, and that would be starting the concept of this is for the community. Yeah. And the Diwali Story begins. Now, it's very, very different from Diwali Story at the Albert Hall. This is about a family talking about Diwali Story. That's as far as I want to go. But it's edutainment, it's educational, it's entertaining. It is what everyone should know and everyone should do every year. Mm-hmm. I think that's enough for an answer for the moment. Yep. But it's got 18 songs, of which 9 songs are specially made. Original. For the Story. One sung by Kavita Krishnamurti. Ooh. And I'm not singing any.
I was going to actually say, I mean, there's quite a few songs. Maybe there was a chance for you to have your singing break.
They didn't like
I'm actually going to come to Sâmir Bhamra because he's the writer-director and he's obviously changed quite a few things on that. But before I go to Sâmir, I do want to just check with you, Nitin, on the production. Where did this concept come for you? Where did the idea of Diwali Story? Because we can go back to, was it 2001?
So I think prior to that, very, very quickly, there was a concept of why is Diwali not on public square? Yeah. And if Diwali is not on public square, then it's not relevant for the young people. So you wanted to make Sanatan Dharma, Sanatan way of life, Diwali, which is the essence of message of Sanatani. We thought we'll put it in public square. So Diwali Trafalgar Square was born in 2001. And from there we said, look, this needs to be bigger, better, and it kicked off with Royal Albert Hall as an accident. Met somebody who says, why don't you have something to do with Hindu celebration in Albert Hall, because there was nothing. Yeah. So we are the first one. Unfortunately for me, there's 7 different activities taking place in Albert Hall this year, which is making life difficult. Yeah. But we started.
But you're trendsetter.
We like to think so.
Well, yeah, I think you're definitely trendsetters because you did it last year and you did it on a huge scale. This time round, what, expecting about 10,000, 11,000 people at Wembley?
10,750. Assuming all the seats get sold, and they will get sold one way or the other. But again, it's for the community, so everybody should be there. Quick marketing conversation. There's a special price for the children as well, and children are under the age of 16, not 65.
Lots of cheeky plugs there.
Lots of cheeky plugs there. But my question to you is that what does it take to bring something like this to Wembley Arena?
Faith in God. Seriously, to find people like this, which is sometimes a mistake, but on the whole, it's very good. But even to do Diwali at the Albert Hall with zero experience, and the team at Diwali Trafalgar Square came along. So Ranu Ben, Shivali, or everybody, nobody had any experience for making a production like this. We just came along. We didn't think about whether we could it or not. We did it. We were successful. And this guy has got some genius capacity to put things on the screen and making the whole place come alive. It's going to be great. It's produced by people that don't know much, but they love Diwali. They love the concept of Diwali, and it's going to be really good fun.
But Nitin, just generally as a consumer and going to events, and I go to Wembley, why choose Wembley? Because to see a show like this, it just requires a little bit more intimacy. It requires more of a theatre show.
Very good. Very good. Albert Hall is a concert hall. What we produced was a theatrical show. Wembley Arena is perhaps not right for a theatrical performance, but by adding to that dances with 40 dancers, it's going to bring substance to the stage. And for the Hindu community, where else could you be? Wembley, come on. 500,000, 300,000 Hindus within 7 miles radius. Sorry, I just don't mean Hindus. Diwali Story is in English, is for everybody, and the message for Diwali is universal. So please, everybody come along.
One of the big conversation is, of course, around the music by Rahul Ranade. How difficult was it to pick the pieces? Like, how do you pick those devotional pieces for the show?
It's quite interesting because what I think the Western Indian mindset requires is very different from Indian market from India. So what we produce something I think is quite family oriented, it's storytelling, and Rahul just produced immense, beautiful music, as you will hear. In fact, one of the main reasons why we produced Diwali Story was to talk about Lakshmi Ji. Everybody talks about Christmas time. There's nothing wrong with it. Father Christmas. Why don't we bring in Lakshmi Ji in Diwali? And there's a gorgeous story of Lakshmi Ji, which is going to be given to you this weekend, I think, as the first organization to promote it. And if anybody doesn't cry, I'll be very disappointed.
Oh, that's an exclusive on Leica, which is going to be fantastic. But yeah, we're looking for the emotional stuff, which is going to be great. Let's speak to Sâmir, because Sâmir, you play a very pivotal role in this project. You wasn't a part of it last year because when it took place at Royal Albert Hall, but you're involved this time around. So how is the show different? What would you say is so different this year? And why did you want to become part of it this year? Is it the money?
I don't think that's the answer. Poor guy.
Why?
And you're seasoned, by the way. Can I say, I'm messing, but you're such a seasoned... when it comes to theatre productions, I think there's only one name, Physical and Sâmir, that I think about. So absolutely fantastic stuff you're doing, Sâmir. So well done.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. I think the thing was when I got the phone call, I was firstly very surprised and very shocked. And the other part of it was that I've been wanting to tell the story of Ramayana for decades. And every time I've come so close, something's happened and it's fallen through. And so when this came aboard, it just felt like destiny was meant to be, because my entire schedule had actually cleared up. So I had the time. So that's one of the first reasons, is like, I want to do it because it's a story that means something to me. And the other is that I had the time. And then the third thing was Nitinji's actual thoughts about what he wanted to do and why he wanted to do it. And it really resonated because, let's face it, you, I, Nitin Uncle, all of us, we're actually migrants. We aren't born in Britain. Well, at least I wasn't born in Britain. And many people who now live in the UK, still at the end of the day, have roots somewhere else. And the story of Ramayana essentially is about someone being in exile. You know, Sri Ram was in exile,
Yeah.
and he lived out of his home for 14 years
Yeah.
and made a life for himself and kept his values. Now, that's something I saw in my grandparents. I saw that in my parents. People like Nitin Uncle, who literally have transformed. They arrived in this country with literally 2 suitcases and 55 pounds.
50.
50.
Does it?
and they made something of them and made this place home. And I think there's no learning that we can have beyond that. That when you look at the Ramayana and you look at our learning, our experiences, the Ramayana actually gives us faith to overcome the challenges that we deal with. And I feel today's young people need to actually know our stories, our histories about where we come from, so that they can then connect to our scriptures.
Yep.
Because I feel that there is a slight alienation between today's generation with when it comes to faith, when it comes to culture. They don't know about it. Now, I'll be honest. Last Diwali, my 13-year-old nephew said, "Why do we celebrate Diwali?" And I had to sit him down and I had to tell him. But I felt actually doing a show at Wembley Arena where the largest number of people can see it and the largest number of people can be educated about it, and also builds ambition. It shows that as South Asians, say South Asian artists, we're ambitious and we're here to make our mark and celebrate our culture with everyone. That's why I agree to be part of it.
I want to ask you about the opening scene. It's with Ravana as a young man praying. Now that's a bold move. Tell us about that.
It is a bold move, but it also isn't, because I think when you look at the story of Ravana, he was a great master of the Vedas. He was a scholar. He knew all these art forms. He was essentially a good man who, because of his ego, he got corrupted. And I think that when we talk about good versus evil, you also need to see that when we were all born, none of us were born evil. We were all born blank slate, right? It's the path we choose. And that's what the Ramayana also teaches us, is the path that we need to choose, about choices we make, about consequences. And I think those are the valuable lessons that we get to share with everyone in a really entertaining production. You know, it is very different from Royal Albert Hall, because when I saw the Royal Albert version, and it was phenomenal, I just kind of felt I wanted to make it a story that is about us, about our experiences, and how do we connect it with. So I did take Nilima Benamarthi's script and I completely ruined it.
Oh God.
But we did work with also Bhavani Sheth, who also wrote Act 3 of the show. So I decided it felt that it was important to make it ours.
So when it comes to something like Ramayana, you know, any mythological, you got to be careful because
It's not mythological.
it's going to have.
This is exactly
I
why
love
I'm
it.
producing
I
this.
love it.
I'm
But it's-
really glad you
but
said
it is
that.
good. But it is good.
I
to,
love this.
So this is the good thing about this, because I think there is going to be a certain section of the audience thinking we're going to go and watch this as a Ramayana or a mythological, because it's close to Diwali as well. But when you're doing, even if you got some characters that are inspired by something from the past, you've got to be careful in terms of trust, responsibility, and you have a certain responsibility of relaying these characters on stage. How does it happen when you're writing this script?
Can I just butt in first?
Yeah,
Because I do
please.
need to pick up on this. There are 3 reasons why we did Diwali Story. One was to address this issue of mythology. It's not. It's our DNA. It's our history. It's actually 14,350 years old. So there's archaeological evidence. It's one of the, without going too much deep into this, few religions in the world which is actually evidence-based. So to use the word mythology is error. And really bring Lakshmi ji right to where she belongs. She's part of the thing. And relevance of Sita. She is equally important to Ram. So 3 reasons. Over to Sâmir.
I've now actually forgotten the question.
So the responsibility
Sorry,
of
The response.
writing.
The thing is, the Ramayana, I'm not rewriting the Ramayana. Every generation has retold the Ramayana, whether Valmiki ji wrote it, Tulsidas wrote it, or in Tamil, there's the Kamdan version. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So, every version they've done their own sort of take on it. What I've just tried to do is just go back to how I learned the Ramayana, which was sitting at home in the living room watching either is it B.R. Chopra's Ramayana on TV.
Yes.
Watching that and learning from that and listening to my parents and my grandparents talking about it. That's how I learned it. So, but today's living room is very different. Today's living room has an Xbox, has a PlayStation, and all that noise distorts when the prayers are taking place. And so our opening scene actually is actually that.
He is giving too much away.
I am giving.
They haven't got a ticket yet.
I am giving a little bit away because I want
You're teasing
everyone,
me.
I want everyone to know that this is a story about the oldest family, and families. Where do we meet? We meet in the living room, and we sit and we talk and we pray and we play in the living room. So our grandson is, playing FIFA because we're at Wembley. He's playing FIFA and does not want to engage with Diwali.
Yeah.
How do you get a 13-year-old to engage with Diwali?
I love that from this conversation. I loved what you said about us being basically tabula rasas when we're born, and then, good and, evil take over. But I also loved the little conversation between the two of you where it's not mythological. And again, a school of thought that needs to be changed and
Yes,
evolved
absolutely.
through the generations, isn't it? So it's important to say a story that has so much history, so much depth, with it being relatable to the audience that is going in to watch it now.
But just imagine, because this has to happen. 2027, we start creating, what is it called? 15 minutes plays which schools can do during Diwali time, like they do during Christmas time.
Christmas, yeah.
So you need to create Diwali kits for children to be taught in the school as well. Every culture is relevant in every school, but you only become relevant if you teach.
Yeah.
And you only teach if you've got the tools to teach with. So we're hoping to provide the tools as part of the products. So profits if there are any profits, but we'll do it anyway, will go towards education of Sanatani way of life.
Super.
It's beautiful.
Just quickly about the scenes. I just want to know, Sâmir, from you, when it comes to writing, it's incredible. I think I'm looking forward to seeing this on stage. But there must be some scenes that were, or probably most of it was quite difficult for you to kind of write. What would you say was the kind of most challenging for you when you were writing?
I think the most challenging scene for me was to write the end sequence, because you've got Ram and Ravan in this epic battle, and it's one where they're both bhakts of Shiva, and it's one devotee praying to Shiva saying, "I'm about to attack your devotee. Please don't be upset with me." Essentially, it's that sort of vibe, and it's how do you bring that nuance, that texture, that feeling of I'm about to do something which I know is the right thing to do because this is the way things have to roll, but it feels wrong to me inherently because of how I'm going to do it. It's all about those things about choice and consequence. And I'd love young people today to, when we talk about well-being, especially for young people, a lot of those well-being issues happen because they don't know how to make decisions. They don't know how to make choices, and when they make choices, they don't know how to live by the consequences. And I think something like Diwali Story and the story of the Ramayana helps us do that. So that's the psychology that's going on at the back of my head, and I've got to put that into the scene with Ram and Ravan, and it is the most complicated thing to do because I'm trying to make it also relevant for a young generation, making it relevant for my parents, my grandparents, because for them the reverence is important, and then for people like me who talk to God like, "God, are you listening to me? You're not listening to my prayers. When are you sorting this out?" And I'm talking to God like that. So how do you find that medium balance? It's very complicated. And I'm not going to say I've got it right. The audiences will let us know, and I'll fix it. Forgive me if I've got it wrong.
I want to come from one difficult task to another very, very difficult task. I mean, Shruti and Rohan are one of the most hardworking, talented couples who work so brilliantly together. And I've seen you do so much over the years, but this is a monumental task. You are choreographing gods and demons, a monkey that leaps into the ocean, and again this challenge of keeping it so authentic and devotional as well. How do you start? Where do you even start?
So the answer is simple. We start with the emotion. So keeping the emotion in mind, that's when the choreography flows. So, for example, Lord Ram, or be it Sita, or be it Hanumanji, or even Ravan, they all have very, very, their characters are very, very strong in their own way. And their intent is also very clear, right? So through the entire story, through the script, we look at what emotion plays when, where, and that is how we start choreographing. The steps, the movement comes later, the emotions come first. That's how I can put it up. So that's how we start. So first we feel the emotion, we listen to the music, we know what part of the script this is, coming towards. So if it is a moment when they are in the exile, or where Ram and Sita are, apart from each other, so the emotion there would be different to the emotion when Lord Ram is born. So every scene, every I would say music, every character has a different emotion, and we try to feel that emotion before we choreograph.
How do you evoke that emotion? You know, as someone who's got a huge responsibility
Yes.
on stage, right?
Yes.
You want to make sure that you connect with the audiences,
Yes.
and that connection and the emotion is very, very important.
Right.
How do you get that? Is it the music? Is it the actors? And is it the expressions?
So it's
And also because you're from a different, as in, I think this is probably a huge project for you, which, you've done some huge Bollywood movies, and for you to be stepping into doing something like this is another grand kind of achievement for you on Bollywood Dance School.
right. So I would say our roots are very traditional in some way. So that's the first point of being able to relate. So because our roots are traditional, we can first relate to the epic story. Yeah, we start off with relatability. Yes, we can relate. Then it moves on to the emotion. Then it moves on to the movement. Then it moves on to the other aspects. Of course, we reflect, our work reflects in what we feel, right? So say, for example, if till we are not able to relate or communicate this to our dancers, they'd not be able to emote and make it relatable to the audience. So that's how it's like a ripple effect, I would say.
Emotions aside, so what's the logistics? Because if you're probably doing things individually, you're probably writing individually in your head and putting it together. You work with your other half, your better half as well. There's a perfect balance of yin and yang. But how do you split a project like this?
So we don't split by saying this is what you will do and this is what I'll do. Of course, that works as well sometimes. It's like it's better to divide and rule. But in our case, say it starts off with somebody starting off working on a scene. It could be Rohan's idea or mine, that doesn't matter. So it is somebody's idea and the other one then builds on to it. And then we keep building on to each other's ideas. And that is how we are able to eventually bring about something more spectacular and something more magical. Whenever we see our work, it's not like, that was the best piece of work that we've done. Whenever we've seen our work, it's always been, we could have done this better. And that's how we don't reach to a point of being complacent. And that's how I think you'd be able to just deliver better each time, because you got to set your own bar. Whether working with our dance school children who are 4, or whether working with professional actors from the Bollywood industry. So every individual has their own kind of, their own kind of abilities. And we just got to make sure that we work well with everybody's abilities. And between Rohan and me, we do end up having a lot of arguments, but it is all for a better production. And eventually, when we see the goal, the outcome, we're pretty happy. And like I said, we're not complacent, but yes, we're happy with what we've done, and we can just make it better. So that's how we work. Like, yes, yin and yang, but
I mean, I just want to come to the casting, because when it comes to the casting of the show, obviously the actors are all new this year than they were last year. how do you kind of all come together and say, actually, we're going to be getting these actors, they're going to do a bit of this, they're going to do a bit of that, will they be able to do everything? How does that work?
Do you want to start?
Yeah, I can. Sâmir and me were in the room, the audition room, from the start till the end, and fortunately, we had very similar thoughts about, I would say, 98% of the actors. Maybe 2% of a little bit of a different feeling where he probably felt otherwise, and same goes with me. But otherwise, 98% of the actors, we both were in. It was a common consensus of this one is XYZ is for this role, XYZ is for this role. So when you end up having a mutual agreement, I think things just fall in place. And because we're working with a lot of new actors, and a lot of them probably were learning about the Ramayana through the process. So which was going to be a very challenging task for Sâmir, but we all love our challenges. And we wanted to work with people, I would say, who have a clean slate and who can then learn, develop their skills, as well as just, it's more of a give and take, where we're able to pass on whatever knowledge that we have to them, and they're able to emote with the kind of background that they have. And Sâmir can add on to it.
I think for me, the key thing I wanted to do is, do they have the right voice texture? Because obviously when you hear like Ram's voice or Shree Ram's voice, or you hear Sita's voice, you've got to feel something. So if they've got the emotional quality about it, and some of them are totally, given that they didn't even know the story, completely blew our minds. And then the other part of it was essentially, do they have the skills to dramatize it for us? A lot of it is to do with movement, because when I rewrote the script, I wanted to dramatize it. I actually wanted to see the bigger fight sequences, the bigger movement pieces. And, you know, to carry that, you need a certain agility, you need a certain physicality, you need a certain posture. And Shruti being there, literally, Rohan and Shruti being there hand on hand, giving them the right kind of choreographic language, helped it just made it all happen. Like they were just perfect.
I think with a project like this, somehow there are blessings from above when so many brilliant minds line together,
it
right?
Has to be. It doesn't know, can I just add two more interesting stuff for you? We had 300 applicants.
Yeah.
Imagine Diwali equity actors. 300 of them were interested in performing. So once we chose them on the first day, as Sâmir Bhai just said, we all sat down. Who knows Diwali? It was 80%. We thought they didn't know, but then the questions started pouring in. They're reading the script. What about this? And suddenly, they became part of the script. They asked so many questions, and script got better and better and better. And the purpose of Diwali happened on that day. The actors became part of the show. They owned Diwali, and that was so beautiful. So we hope when people see Diwali Story, they'll own it.
We're auditioning next time.
Yeah, please do.
100%.
I'm all about the voices. So yeah, radio is all about voices. So we're great with that. I'm not sure about the acting side of it. And the dancing, I'm not sure about
We
that
will give
either.
you a big task of choreographing. You think you had a challenge with the Diwali Story?
Sâmir and me are already thinking of what characters
Oh,
we could play,
God.
right?
I mean, you've got the height. Come
Yeah.
on.
We've got the height and the build.
Yeah, but I think Kush will definitely do a better job. But look, another a very important part of the axis, the project is going to be the visual, the side of things. And Nishkit, honestly, it's so good to see you today here at Leica. Your job runs from the giant screens inside the arena to the adverts outside, the marketing, getting people to know. Obviously, it's on Leica Radio Network because we're exclusive radio partners. But tell us how and why and where would you promote a show like this?
Yeah, it's absolutely. So my job is to bring the light both ways, inside the arena, on the screens.
Yeah.
We start off with FIFA, and we head over to lovely visuals of Ayodhya and Lanka and everything else in between. And so my job is to help bring that world to life.
Yeah.
And we say outside the arena, my job is to help bring thousands of people to come and see the show.
Yeah.
But the beautiful part is, the best part of the marketing of the show is what's in the show itself. That's the best bit of marketing for it.
But that's what I was going to ask you. Is that something that has been around for 5,000 years and people already have a preconceived notion of what it might be? How do you even market something like that in today's world?
It's a really interesting thing because the Ramayana needs no introduction. It's the biggest word of mouth advertising going on for thousands of years, right? What the show has brought together is a multi-generational, contemporary, accessible format in English with enough new scenes to engage people. Like Sâmir Bhai said, he wants the bigger scenes, right? We also have some amazing music. So we have about 18 songs, 8 brand new, 1 sung by a Bollywood superstar, Kavita ji. And there is a lot more in this show with visual sound effects and the screen and all around. It's a great package deal.
And I'm hearing from the murmurs that you're using some of the most advanced technology that's been used for a Diwali show like this. So tell us a bit about that.
Yes, so last year at Royal Albert Hall, we had a challenge with a 60-foot wide LED screen. And so we had to create the visuals around it. So we leveraged AI for that. But then we ran into other challenges to animate the still scenes. And so we learned a lot of things around that. The world's moved on since then, so we've leveraged technology even more. So this year there'll be bigger, better visuals.
There's also the Hanuman Chalisa, and that plays an important part.
You're giving all the secrets away. Yeah, absolutely.
So you can imagine the Hanuman Chalisa. It's sung by the company, the entire audience. And this is thousands of people singing. It is as loud as it gets. We sing the Hanuman Chalisa everywhere, at home, in the temple, etc. But you can imagine this is not just our culture. It's our culture at full volume. 10,000 people singing it.
I want to, and the vibration of that itself
Yes.
is
Immense.
incredible.
Absolutely
it's
immense.
absolutely
Yeah.
immense, right? I want to go around the table, and each one needs to give an answer. Is that when you do the right thing, it's also the hardest? What was the hardest thing for you with this project?
Oh, I think the hardest thing is yet to come. That's to deal with the tech rehearsals. When we put the whole show together, to make sure everything is coming together, everything gels, you know, the LED screens gel with the choreography gels with the music gels with the story, and the actors are doing exactly what we need them to do.
What about for you?
And Nitin Uncle's happy.
We got the thumbs up, that's it.
No, it's coming quite well. I think you love it.
But what's challenging for you? I mean,
No, I want to be the last one.
would you? Okay.
Okay. I would say the scale.
It's okay. Yeah.
The scale, overall scale. Be it, the number of bodies going on stage. It could be the number of dancers, like Sâmir said, the music coming together, the stitching up of the show together. But if I were to word it, I would just say the scale, because it's at the Wembley Arena.
How about you?
For me, it's dealing with new formats. So like, for example, we had to produce adverts that go on the Wembley Arena screens. So outside on the gable, inside, etc. And that was quite interesting as a project, but very challenging as well to get that produced to their specifications. So there are technical side of the marketing aspect, which is interesting and challenging.
So you've created a challenge for every one of them. What about you?
So, whenever we finish off Diwali at Trafalgar Square, always look up at the clouds and say, "Hi Ram Bhagwan, are you happy with what we have performed?" And it sounds absolutely mad. So it'll be the same thing this time. Are we true to the objective? Have we performed as we should have performed, and the outcome is what we are seeking? So, is it educational? Is it telling the true story? This 14,500 years old. Is it contemporary? Is it written, spoken, and conveyed in a way that will remain in people's heart and become part of the family for future? Diwali cannot be just one day in a year. Diwali is daily. And how we behave with Diwali is daily. What comes out of this is even more important. The education tool, how we can take this portable Diwali story to Toronto and Australia and maybe Abu Dhabi and wherever else. And why not? Can you imagine it'll be the first time a production comes out of UK and performs in India?
Incredible.
That would be a vision.
Yeah.
I hope and pray it'll work.
One thing I just want to add, when you're looking up top and you're looking at the work already done, has been incredible, because even the launch for the event that you had a few days back was just something unique, and well done to you and the marketing team. Well, let's say a massive shout out to Mango Marketing as well from Nidhi, because I know she's done part
Incredible
of this
help.
project.
Incredible help.
On you had an event which started in Neasden. It went on to London Eye, which
Start
is
with
very rare.
blessings. Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
Start with the blessings and finish off with the contemporary.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. And the beauty was when the children came inside the temple, and most of them hadn't been inside the temple. So I said, uh-oh. And I had a phone call from Rohan the next day saying the parents loved it and they want to do more of this temple visit and everything else. So maybe the objective was beginning to come together. So who knows? To use my Guru's Shabda, Pramukh Sai Maharaj's Shabda, good things bring in godliness. So let's hope and pray Ram Bhagwan will be happy with Sitaji.
One more thing, I know we've been constantly talking about Kavita Krishnamurti. We are exclusive radio partners of the event that's happening as well. Very, very excited. And there's a huge and a lovely connect with this show, with Diwali Story as well. Just quickly, Nitin, on this partnership with Kavita Krishnamurti and also the concert that's happening at Royal Albert Hall. Tell us a bit about that.
Again, incredible. The concert is called Celebrating Diwali.
Diwali, yeah.
Just imagine, Kavita Krishnamurti, very, very famous for Bollywood. So when we called her up in America, and she was in America, I said, look, I'm sorry, most of the songs have to be devotional, can be Bollywood, but devotional and related to Diwali. Her husband came on the phone at the same time and said, we have to do this, because we spent all our life doing Bollywood, but this is what the world needs. So they were so happy to make it happen. So 1st of November, for the first time in the history ever, to have a concert of Diwali 3 days before Diwali, you get Royal Philharmonic Concert Orchestra, 45 musicians playing live. It's going to be incredible. If you don't come, it's your loss.
It's going to be amazing. Like Rain Network, exclusive radio partners of Diwali Story and also of Kavita Krishnamurti. And you'll be hearing more about that because we've got so many campaigns running for this. Also, for anyone who is saying, oh, another Diwali Story or another Ramayana or another mythological, what would you say to those people? What's the last few words you'd like to tell the listeners that are listening, the viewers that are watching for Diwali Story? How would you entice them to buy tickets for this show?
When you wake up, what's the first thing you do? Pray to God. When you go to bed, you pray to God. So why would you say I'm praying to God now and praying to God again? It's something you do every day, right? So in that same vein, you need to bring your kids and you need to come and watch the show, because this show is made to help the kids also understand.
We're going to come to you last, Nitin. So, Shruti?
I would say this is for people who have already grown up watching the Ramayana and for people who are watching it for the first time. We want them to go back feeling moved. And that's the reason that you must come and watch it.
Fab.
2 words come to mind: immersive and also very entertaining. So those are the 2 reasons you need to come there, because you will see something that is never been produced before.
Yeah, I think that is, especially what you just said there about immersive. I think a lot of shows are very immersive these days, so it's nice to have that angle. Nitin, what would you say? What's your final words?
How come we never say another meal, another food, another sleep? We never talk about the same thing over and over. So why another Diwali? Diwali should be every day like a breath of air.
Yeah.
It's a fresh breath of air, which will be produced and given to you and presented to you in a very different way, so it becomes part of your life. We hope, and again pray, that the message that comes out of it is truly edutainment, and people will go away from it with at least 5 messages from it, which we'll talk about perhaps in the future.
Absolutely incredible. But we've got to say, what we've seen and what we've heard of Diwali Story, it is going to be an epic saga on stage, and we're looking forward to it, which is why Like Rain Network is the exclusive radio partner. Kush, what would you say?
I just, when I sat down to do this podcast, I was like, oh, we're going to talk to the people who have put a lot of blood, sweat, tears behind this. But it's not just blood, sweat, and tears. There's so much heart and there's so much vision. And just from your conversations and just how you speak about it, that if that's even the tiniest glimpse of what we're about to experience, then we're in for a treat.
Absolutely. Tickets are available. SanatanEvents.org is the website, or the Wembley Arena, AXS and also Ticketmaster. So do get your tickets before you're disappointed, all right? It's going to be a massive show. It's taking place on the 27th of September at the OVO Arena Wembley. It's going to be incredible. I think that's it. There's so much to
No,
come
we've
in.
forgotten one thing.
What's that?
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri
Jai
Ram. Thanks so much for watching.
This is Leica Extra, the sound for the British Asian generation. A part of the Leica Radio Network.